Oh, wow. Nikki Ebony. Always number one. Your notification is so perfect. I wonder how you did it. Well. Here we are finally tonight again. Yes, getting ready for my very, very dear Aburo, one of the earliest and youngest ladies to appear on the pages of Ovation many years ago. Yes, TEMILOLU OKEOWO. Today is also her birthday, so this is coming at a very, very auspicious moment, and we shall be talking to her very soon. I expect her to join me on OKEOWO TEMILOLU. That's a handle. If you see OKEOWO TEMILOLU, please let me know. Hello, Yetunde Gold. How are you? Super beauty queen. Longest time. So if you see OKEOWO TEMILOLU, please let me know. She should be joining us. Okay, I can see Chief Olu OKEOWO. Yes, good evening. Sir Olu OKEOWO, good evening. You want to watch your darling Aburo. I'm so happy to see you. How is the family? How is mommy and the children? Good to see you, sir. Yes, I'm waiting to see our very, very dear Aburo. As I said, many, many years ago, she appeared on the pages of Ovation, and since then, she has not relented on her efforts at making a name for herself. So, if TEMILOLU can hear me, all you have to do is come in to this program and we shall let you in right away. So, yes, I'm waiting for TEMILOLU to join us. I can't see her handle yet. It's OKEOWO TEMILOLU. Searching for her. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Where is TEMILOLU OKEOWO, please? Okay, I'm expecting her to join any second from now. Well, it's so good to see so many people join us already. Yes, I can see OKEOWO TEMILOLU live and direct. Today is her birthday, as I said, and all of us at Ovation Media Group we're wishing her happy birthday. Hello, birthday girl. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good evening, sir.
Oh, wow. This is a very gorgeous one.
Thank you.
You've always been Yauge, Lati Kekere.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Very well, thank you.
Haven't changed You haven't changed from
Thank you.
fashionable to okay. I'm
Thank you,
happy to
sir.
inform you that your big brother is watching you proudly tonight.
Oh, I
Saluk
see.
is watching you proudly.
I
So,
see. Well,
okay,
yeah, he sent me a message now. He said, we're waiting for you online. We're waiting for you live.
yeah, my efficiency. Your brother is very
Sir?
efficient. I say your brother is very efficient. So he got in here
Really?
before. Yes, he got in here.
Thank God for that. Thank God. That's how a father should be anyway.
Exactly. Of course, he's your father now, not a brother any longer. And I'm very proud. So your family,
Thank you.
well done, well done, well done. So,
Thank you.
yes, I think my DJ is trying to get you some music now. So
Thank you.
we celebrate people on this platform. We don't harass
Thank
anybody.
you.
Just relax, stay with us. Yes. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
so start appreciate. Dance. Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't hear again.
Can you hear it?
I'm just hearing now. Application. Mo dúpẹ́ oníbùwọ̀ bàbá gbọ́ pẹ́ mi. Mi wí bẹ́ẹ̀nìyàn kọ́ lọ́lọ́run mi rí o. Ẹ̀dá ló ń gbàgbé. Olúwa kò gbàgbé ẹnìkankan. Bẹ́ẹ̀nìyàn kọ́ lọ́lọ́run mi rí. Mo dúpẹ́ oníbùwọ̀ bàbá gbọ́ pẹ́ mi. Application. Mo dúpẹ́ oníbùwọ̀ bàbá gbọ́ pẹ́ mi. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The sound, I can't hear you. Chatting, happily. Oh my God. I wish you happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. Very, very, very happy return.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Very, very, very happy return.
Thank you. Thank you.
In labor too.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish you happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So we are
Thank
ready.
you.
Could you kindly reduce the volume of your telephone? The volume,
Oh,
please.
really? Okay.
Answering back.
Is that okay?
You can still reduce it a little bit more, please. Thank you.
Okay. Mhm. Is that okay?
Yes, I think for now we'll try. I think your internet is also okay. Give me just 1 second
Okay.
trying to
Yes, sir.
in a message. So how are you today?
Not bad. Thank you.
And how have you spent your birthday so far?
Well, it's been a lovely day. I would say virtually online, messages here and there. And then I would say that my major focus really is the World Chastity Day. A day, so, I chose my birthday to celebrate my mission on earth. And I have been so enthralled uh, by the attention I'm getting from my Facebook friends and fans. The love, has been awesome. And I'm already getting word about, reaching out to everyone and expressing my gratitude. But I give glory to God. I'm
Okay,
moving forward in my ministry. So that's it.
before we move forward, we have to know where we're coming from. So I would like you to
Okay.
introduce yourself to my viewers. We do that every time. So who is Temilolu Okeowo? Don't be in a rush. Just take it slowly, steadily,
Okay.
slowly, steadily. And then I want people to learn something from you. As I said earlier on, you are one of the earliest people ever to appear on the pages of Ovation. You were young, you were vibrant, you were ambitious, and you were
Thank
focused.
you.
You, in fact, at the launch of your book, you were able to attract a sitting wife of a vice president at that time. I can't remember how
Thank
old
you.
you were, but I want you to start from your birth, your background, your primary school, your secondary school, and so on. And so take it slowly, please. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Temilolu OKEOWO. I'm a lawyer, an author, a certified forensics examiner. You could call me a multiple newspaper columnist and an evangelist. A lot of people call me Apostle of Chastity because that's my specialty. And as you know, I wrote my first book as a teenager. And you would remember making a comment, endorsing the book. And you would perhaps, I'm sure you've not forgotten you once referred to me as Ajantala.
That's
It's boldly written. Sorry?
I said that's from D.O. Fagunwa's book, Ajantala
Yes,
is.
that's exactly how you described me,
Yes,
as young and energetic. And
yes.
you always said I reminded you of, I don't know whether Ajantala was a demon or something. I don't know. I don't know. You
Was
know.
very strange baby. From the moment he was born, he could eat 7 pieces of eko. You know,
I
the
see.
yes. So it was very strange, and to me, you looked very strange. Everything about you was fast, fast, fast. But let's
Thank
from
God.
from your background, your parents, and then your
Yes.
family.
So, uh, my parents are late Chief Taiwo Okeowo of blessed memory and Lady Grace Adeshola Okeowo. And I would say my upbringing, especially my dad's intentional parenting and minding, laid the foundation of what I'm doing today. You know, I led a very protected and guarded and monitored childhood. I guess my dad my dad always told me that I wasn't a run off the mill, that I was a special child. And he was so concerned about, with every detail, the least detail of my life, he wanted to be involved. So to start with, there were no going to birthday parties, visiting anyone. I can tell you that I can remember attending maybe just one or two birthday parties. And Chief Oluokeowo, who is listening right now, championed, you know, those visits. I mean, my attending those parties, because my dad never wanted all that. He was very, very protective. So anyway, I would say his protectiveness and my willingness to follow him in toto and make him happy made me write that book, my debut book. You would recollect the first interview you did on me. You asked me why I wrote a book as a teenager. And I told you I did so just to make my dad proud of me. I was the head girl of my school, but you see, I was very fashion forward. And when you see a young girl, a teenager that's so fashionable, you expect that she gets so much attention. And then that attention was putting me in a lot of trouble because there were so many assumptions. And my father wasn't considering the fact that I was an A student, the head girl, this or that. So I just got tired of being harassed all the time. When you're a pretty girl, in those days, parents are quick to tell you, come, don't bring any pregnancy into this house, whether they see you with anybody or not. So my dad put that fear in me. He put some, huge amount of, I would say, fear in me. At a point in time, I thought it was a very difficult old man because I didn't understand. My mates were having so much fun, but you see, I couldn't go for parties. I couldn't do a lot of things. It had to be book. But I'm grateful for it all today because he laid the foundation for everything I'm doing in the papers today. And I would also say you as well. You know what you did. So I'm not surprised I'm in this ministry today.
Fantastic. So let's talk about your education, the trajectory, your journey, through life. You've talked about the parentage. Now let's talk about education.
Well, in secondary school, well, of course, I was an art student. And then I remember a lot of times, anytime the school had impromptu, had to get engaged in impromptu speeches and competitions within and outside the school. The English teacher or the principal would say, go and call OKEOWO. So I would say my love for literature also helped a lot. Because the first thing, I remember when I told my dad I was writing the book, he couldn't quite believe it. He didn't know what I wanted to write, but he supported me all through, So, I studied law, not because I wanted to be a lawyer, but that was the best art course. That's what I felt was the best art course, though I had a flair for other things. So I studied law, and then thereafter did a bit of forensics, and then many years after, for some reason or the other, I just decided I wanted to contribute my quota to the kingdom of God. And then I worked to some editors in some newspaper houses and told them I wanted to contribute. I started with This Day on Sunday, Sunday Guardian, and Saturday Punch, and The Nation on Sunday. At a point in time, I was writing for 4 different newspapers weekly with different contents. And anytime the editor or anyone I had to see asked me, what are you trying to gain? I'm like, I feel I could impact lives through this. This all started in 2013, and it's been the best thing that happened to me. And the response from the girls especially has been so gratifying. And it's also opening new vistas in my life. And I could say solidifying my exact mission on earth, which I'm thankful for and which I'm celebrating today.
Okay. So how many books have you written now?
About 4.
Okay, you've written 4 books.
About 4. But yeah, however, I have hundreds of articles online. Anything to do with chastity, sexual purity, masturbation, pornography, just Google Temilolu OKEOWO, unless you don't have work to do. I can tell you, you can't finish my articles in 6 months. I know. And I'm grateful to God for that.
Okay, could you give us a definition of chastity? Because it's from you, I'm hearing about it for the first time. So what
Well,
is of chastity?
well, you could say chastity. Chastity could be a form of preserving yourself, your sexuality, really. Chastity is holiness, is cleanliness. And maybe let's use the word sexual purity. It's keeping yourself pure and not defiling God's temple.
Wow. So what does that mean and how does that work?
Well, we're told in 1 Corinthians 6:19 that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And if you look through the Bible, we're told that the marriage bed should remain undefiled. There's several scriptures to back this up. We're also told in 1 Peter 2:11 that we should abstain from fleshly lust, which wars against the soul. Fleshly lust wars against the soul. Anything to do with our flesh is against the Spirit of God. The spirit in the world is in contention with the Spirit of God. So if you're feeding your flesh regularly, it's difficult for you to be in constant connection with the Spirit of God.
Wow. Yes, I'm definitely
If you're
interested.
feeding your flesh regularly and wrongfully too, wrongfully too, it's like shunning God and embracing the devil. That's just it. And like I said, chastity is refraining from extramarital or all forms of ungodly sex. That's it. Being
So
holy, undefiled. Yeah.
about this. At what stage in your life did you start, thinking that you just have to be absolutely pure?
Well, to start with, my dad laid a formidable foundation for what I'm doing today. He never gave me any reasons for anything, but I know that he always told me, "Temilolu, you're a very special person. Don't let any man mess you up. Don't let this happen. Don't let that happen." He didn't even want to hear anything like boyfriends. And then he'll tell my mom, like, he'll call her name. "If any of your daughters brings in any pregnancy into this house, this is what would happen," and all of that. So you see, there was this curiosity and, there was just this fear in me. Like, look, I don't want to get into daddy's bad books, because you see, as much as I would say he harassed me to a certain extent, he also expressed so much love. So you see, I wanted to follow his path, whether I knew the consequences or not. So eventually, at a point in time when, I was faced with life's vicissitudes, so to speak, I decided to launch myself into the supernatural, because those were terrifying moments. Life's battles that I couldn't explain, and I needed I needed answers. I'm a fighter. I never give up, you know. So, in the middle of that, I had cause to ask God questions. And I tell you, when you're committed to God, He's committed to you. And Psalm 25:14 says, "The secret of the Lord is with them that fear Him, and to them He will show His covenant." So God revealed a lot of things to me, about how your sexual purity could empower you, and about the female spirituality, the power we carry as females generally, which I believe a lot of people are not employing and exploited, except maybe people on the dark side. So, and then I see a lot of women go through a lot. And when I see young girls, when I see an average young girl, I see a fortress, an institution. I see the bedrock of the future society. And so when I know one or two things, about how she can keep herself from destruction and how she can keep her life in one piece and how she can ensure she doesn't sell herself to the devil. I can't but speak out because of my love for God.
So, but did you ever have boyfriends? Did you date
Sorry,
anyone? Did you ever have any
sir?
boyfriends growing up? Did you have boyfriends as you were growing up?
That's a very personal question.
No, you are talking.
uh,
So there should be nothing
of course
to.
I did. I did at some point, but of course I did at some point or the other. You know,
Oh,
I
so,
did.
but
Yes, I did.
tuned off, or what happened? What caused
What did you
it?
say?
Because those watching you, if you want them to grab what you are saying, your message, then you must be
Yes.
willing to divulge what led you into purity, because it's unusual, you understand, in the world of today for anyone above 18, 20 not to have a sexual relationship, you know.
Excuse me. It's not like there's nothing unusual about that.
No, I'm just saying
No,
not common. Okay, let me say it's not common.
it is not common. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But you see, it is possible in today's world. And I know, I tell you, I mean, of course, I had, one or two boyfriends in the past, of course, before uh, I became so committed to God. I can tell you for a fact that you would find there in the world today, you find virgins as in untouched, unspoiled, untouched, unspoiled, and not even technical virgins. They're out there in the world today. It is very possible. And that's why I tell a lot of teenagers, the teenage years, they are the most delicate years in anyone's life. You will agree with me that that is when the foundation for life is laid. And that is also when we have so much passion and energy to explore the world, and we want to do everything, anything and everything with so much vibrancy and gusto. But I tell you one more thing. Any male or female who can subdue his or her flesh in her teens has conquered 80% of life's problems. I can tell you that for a fact. Sexual intercourse is a very serious matter. It is not just, okay, we're having fun, we're doing this, we're doing that. We have, when you're engaging in sex with someone, we have transference of spirits. Your life is open up to a lot. I could say, which I could call demonic invasion. And then even before getting to that, talking about boyfriends, in my teens, I wouldn't dare have a boyfriend because of my late dad. And I tell girls in their teens, even guys, you have no business being romantically involved with anyone, because you're meant to be laying a solid foundation spiritually, academically, psychologically, and in other ways, learning life skills. But you find out that, I can tell you that as far back as, I'm 41 today, as far back as when I was in the third form, I had friends who were even terminating pregnancies. Everybody was having one boyfriend or the other. How can you concentrate on your your major priority, of getting fantastic grades in your teens when you begin to have boyfriends? And then you now decide you want to start sleeping around, having your life exposed to different spirits from different human beings. I don't think all may be so well with such a life. Because even in the Bible, it's written that, do you not know that when you join your body with a prostitute, you become one? That's a very serious matter. So that's where the issue of transference of spirits come in. But you see, a lot of people, just like you, your doubts about all of this. A lot of people don't know this. They're not so exposed to the spiritual side of sex,
No, I didn't
which
say I
could
doubt.
make.
I just not common.
Sorry?
I didn't say I doubted. It's a fact that
Okay,
it's uncommon.
okay,
At
okay.
at age 60, you understand, I know that it is not common to find young
Okay.
ladies, especially even in the past, even when we were growing up, from the time you are 18, everybody believes that you've reached the age of consent. And so you can do whatever you like, and then people want to explore and enjoy their youth. Okay, at any rate, so would you say your attitude towards sexuality is as a result of your religious belief mainly?
Well, whatever I'm doing today is inspired by the Holy Spirit. Whatever I'm doing today, anything you find me writing was downloaded by God into my brain. Because sometimes I read this thing, I'm like, what? Did I write this? You know, so it has to be. It certainly has to be as a result of my religious upbringing and my conviction. And yeah, and my conviction, yes. And
So
the power of God.
you think there are many ladies like you today around? Do you sincerely think so? And I'm not talking about people being hypocritical. People can go to church and pray more than praying mantis and still be worse than the demon on our side.
Well, quite frankly, I wouldn't say there's so many, but at least from the responses I get over time, I have seen some of the world's most beautiful ladies, even in their early 30s, who are yet to be deflowered. I tell you, it is not an easy thing. But you see, it is also very easy when you embrace the power of God and when you consider what you stand to gain by keeping yourself. Because if you're preserving yourself, you're not opening your life to other strange spirits coming from your sexual partner. You're developing the power of God in you. If you're shunning the devil and embracing God with all your heart, you're building up yourself into a fiery furnace. And before you know it, God begins to open your eyes and he begins to show you your destination. I mean, 1 Corinthians 2:9 says, eyes have not seen, neither has any ear heard, nor any mind perceived what God has in store for those who love him. But who does? The Spirit of God. If you're, how can you know what is before you when you have the spirit of different men in you, your boyfriend, and all the people he slept with? But when you see, when you're so saturated in the Spirit of God, you're so inclined in the spiritual. God begins to show you what is going to happen to you, what's coming before you, the glory ahead of you. That is enough to tame your flesh. You know?
Temilolu, are you
Sir?
aware of what is called sexual compatibility?
Yes.
And do
Yes.
you know that these days it is recommended that before you get married, it will also be nice to know if you are sexually compatible with your partner?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
It is the word of God that works for me, and that is all I know.
No,
And
I'm
I
not
will repeat one thing.
working for you. I'm just looking
Yeah,
at the
generally.
of our
Yes, generally.
yes,
Generally.
yes. It's
Generally.
difficult for a woman to get married today if the man is not sure that they will be, and it's been a cause of problems in many marriages when they get married and they see that they don't enjoy themselves. Is either one of them is too frigid or the other is too wild. So how do you now deal with this, even spiritually?
I repeat. I repeat. And I will keep emphasizing that God is committed to those who are committed to him. This may sound difficult. This may sound like, look, I'm not going to get into that type. I don't want to get into that business. The point is this. You cannot be so committed to God. I believe with all my heart that you can't be so committed to God and then when it comes to sexual compatibility, God would now, you will now end up with somebody who's not going to satisfy you. it could happen, I must tell you, but I would still advise anyone to choose God. But you know what? We all have, you know, the right to make whatever choices we want in life. But if I were to advise anyone, I would tell them to choose God, to follow God with all their heart, and let Him have the final say over that. Because what if they're sexually compatible and they're not meant to be married? Or they get into marriage, oh, they're having sex every day. The first 6 months is like heaven, and then all of a sudden they're like, how did I ever get married to someone like this? You know what I'm saying? So I think obedience is better than
Interesting
sacrifice.
that under a week ago, I interviewed Bobrisky, and today I'm interviewing a sexual purist. Isn't that very interesting? But would you agree with
Wonderful.
those who would accuse you of religious fanaticism, that maybe you are being fanatical?
That's their business. What's my business with them? Anybody can say whatever they like. Somebody sent me a message last week, because I usually get tons of feedback, on my newspaper articles. So there was this particular guy, he even wrote his name, said, look, Madam Temilolu, I've been reading you for years and I've commended you over and over again. You're always talking about sex. Girls abstaining from sex, premarital sex, etc. Can't you talk about other inspirational things that can move their life forward? No matter what you think, you cannot change most of them. I said, thank you, sir. But the point is this. There are 1,000,001 people who will talk about stuff like that. I believe so much in my calling, and I have a good number of girls who keep, writing lovely letters, thanking me for this, thanking me for inspiring them and all of that. And that is enough for me, So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. God is happy with me. God is pleased with me. Some people were telling me last night, they said, so you meant this World Chastity Day? I said, yeah. Some people said, I thought it was just a joke. I said, it's not a joke. August 6th, as from now on, has become World Chastity Day. Let's see where God will take it. Thank you, sir.
I'm very proud of you. I like unusual things. I like unusual people. And you have shown it can be done. It can be done. And I'm not going to discourage you, but just trying to get as much information as possible for my
You will get everything.
To understand. Before we continue, we'll play a song so to relax you.
Okay.
Then because we're still going to talk about your fashion, we're going to talk about law, we're going to talk about different things. So we'll be back. Yes, we'll just play you.
Why is my brother monitoring me? Tell him to leave me alone, no? Yep. He said, God bless you, you are doing well. Leave me.
Because anyone I said you. Now, so let's talk about your religious belief. So what's your background? Were you Anglican? Were you Methodist? What were you at the beginning? So let's look at the different journeys.
Okay, that's a very good question. I was born into a Methodist family. My late dad was a knight and choir master. And the only thing I remember growing up to was church. Church in the morning, at night, the only places we went aside school was church, church service on Sunday, and choir practice. So, well, yeah, he started as an Anglican, and then became a Methodist. He was a choir master, and we were all in the choir and all of that. So, and then thereafter, while experiencing the storms of life, at some point in time, all of us have to pray, fall down and die, fall down and die. So I met Dr. Dike Olukoya, and I began worshiping at MFM. And, I would say that, Uncle Dele, you are in the spirit. That's a very good question. Because I would say, yes, it's true. Because even in my last newspaper interview, when I was asked who were those who influenced my ministry, my life and ministry, I would say my late dad, and then Dr. Olukoya. And he did it unconsciously. Because I tell you, whatever I'm doing right now is what an average MFM member can do. I can tell you that. Because you see, he has this in-depth into the spiritual, into the spirit, into the supernatural realm. And then, there's this audacity in his ministrations, so, fiery, or what should I use now? So I was always, so enthralled and, probably awestruck. I'm like, God, I want to be like this man. How can somebody love God like this and preach like this and touch people's lives? So that's how all that started. And then, when you pray MFM prayers, quite frankly, and you're really committed to God, when you're living a life of holiness, I tell you, before you do it, God is talking to you. And this is why I insist girls, though it should be both gender, my passion is for girls, basically. But I insist that when I tell girls that they should keep themselves pure, one of the reasons is because they can hear from God. So, judging by the MFM prayers, having to stay up at night, engaging in spiritual warfare, and then with the fact that I was determined to win some certain battles and I was concentrating so much, God opened my eyes to a lot of things. So I would say I thank God for MFM. And then generally, I think my journey, my experience in MFM also brought out my spirituality as a woman. I tell people there's nothing, when girls begin to say, hey, God, I wish I were like you, this and I said, God, I would tell them, pray never to be like me. There's nothing special about me. The only thing is that I yielded myself to God's services. Full stop. Every woman carries a good measure of what I'm carrying. So it's left to what would now determine how your life would turn out, or the sort of power you would carry, is if you're sitting with God or you're following the devil. And I can tell you one thing, for every girl listening, Uncle Dele thinks it's so queer to find virgins out there today. Parents, tell your children, tell your girls especially, they need the power of God, because society, the world is going to get worse. So concerning my spirituality, yes, I would say I learned a lot from MFM, and let's leave the rest. Let's leave the rest to God. That's where I just sat down in church one day. I remember. Sorry.
So which of the churches do you attend today?
Okay, why are you asking? That's a very serious question.
Yes, that's the essence of this interview, is to ask you. And even the Bible you are quoting, I can also quote better. Ask.
Yes.
And so I want to receive the message, because I know that you also you're a member of Cherubim and Seraphim or something.
Not Cherubim and Seraphim.
Okay, is this celestial?
Not because I sent you a song. No, I sent you a song.
I did a lot of research on you.
Really?
Trust me. I bring you here without finding out a few things about you.
Okay. Certainly not CNS, but I would say CCC. CCC.
What is this? Okay.
That is Celestial Church of Christ. Yes. Okay. A very misinterpreted church.
Okay. Well, definitely not by someone like me. I was born in Aladra.
No, even before I went there, Ah, no, 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 no. I mean, I never thought in my wildest dreams that I could go to a church. I mean, we heard different things about that church, very scary things, you know, but I found myself there, and I tell you, life has never been the same again. And it is just as a result of wearing white, bowing my head at the heart of prayer, and praying to God, living a life of holiness. So, but I think there is something, I don't know what is between the late SBG Oshofa and God, because I know there's a very powerful covenant between them. Honestly, a simple prayer in your white garment, facing that altar, does wonders without recourse to anything fetish. I would say that over and over again.
Well, we've read so many negative stories about the CCC and the fetishness. But as I said, I was born in an Adura church. So, and I visited the...
Okay, can I tell you why? Can I tell you why?
Of Papa Oshofa 2 years ago. I went
Okay.
to Eko. Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know why there's so much, you know, you could be correct if you say there's so much fetishism and occultic. You could be. This is it. Anywhere you find the raw power of God manifesting, you find the devil there. In fact, you find the devil roaming all over the place. So if you're not careful, if you don't mind yourself, you'll get into serious trouble. You find the devil raging in a place where there's so much power, because as much as the real power of God wants to reign, that is the power of the Holy Spirit. Evil spirits too want to reign supreme, you know. But I thank God for my experience so far. It's been awesome. I thank God.
So tell me the things you admire in CCC.
Okay. You see, the funny thing is this. Honestly, CCC, the CCC I know, the CCC I've been experiencing, is holiness personified. The sermons I've heard so far, they're talking about, well, maybe in the parish I go, they're always talking about the narrow way. And then, you know, there's this deep concentration when we worship God. And then I also noticed something about CCC. They don't tell you to, they don't forcefully tell you to bring your tithe. You know one thing about CCC? By the time God begins to do wonders in your life, you can spend all your money in church. At CCC, ordinary Thanksgiving, you know, there's something we do after church, after each sermon, just before the church rounds up, where we do Thanksgiving. You know, we take things for Thanksgiving, we dance to God. Honestly, all those things don't go just like that. That is why I keep saying, I don't know what is between God and late SBG Oshofa. I don't know. You know, they don't stress you. I'm not saying you're not supposed to pay your tithe. You should do all that. But they don't stress you. They allow you do whatever you want to do. But you see, I think people, a lot of people there are enjoying the covenant between God and the late SBG Oshofa. It's working for a lot of people. And I must also say that I believe a lot of people would have even enjoyed life better and be soaring so high, because once or twice I have been invited to preach at some CCC churches. I mean, even though years back I declined, but you see, I keep telling, I said, look, we members of CCC, we are supposed to be the ones snubbing people, not the other way around. Because of the power of God an average CCC member carries. But unfortunately, a lot of people are lost in their flesh. So they are just even getting a little from the CCC, except maybe those who do other things, you know. But CCC is a very special church. And I'm thankful for my experience there without any recourse to occultic practices. It's as easy as, well, I mean, I was told when I was going there, the instruction was, because it was so hard for anybody. I mean, there was nothing anybody could tell me about CCC. I mean, I couldn't even drive past a CCC church without cringing like, yeah, these ones, they will still, they'll tap from me or whatever. So, but the instruction then was, and it worked for me. It also promoted my spirituality and sharpened my spiritual perception. And so that's why, I wonder why a lot of CCC members are not on the higher rung of the society. They are supposed to be doing fantastic exploits the world over. But you see, God knows best.
No, as I said, I was born in a Ladra church, and I believe that it's a very, very spiritually uplifting church. I remember the first day I attended Iyadura's church in London, and I wore the white garment. And people said, "What's wrong with you? Have you gone mad?" I said, what Money, do you want me to wear Asho Ekwe? Or what is the problem? And people are so judgmental. Whereas this is an African church. Authentic.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Can I tell you something? Some people find it very hard to believe too. Like, Temilolu, CCC. What kind of problem could be? Like, excuse me, as I am now, at least the world is listening now. So you all know. Because a lot of people go to my timeline and they're like, you preach so well, you're so fairy, you're so this, but we can't find any particular church you belong to, this and that. This. You see, if I'm not wearing white garment on my timeline, it's not because I'm scared of what people say. No, I have certain reasons, But the point is this: Temilolu, no matter what, I'm done with the world. I'm with the firmament and with God.
You are not
and with how I feel, with the way sorry?
I say you are no longer on this planet. You're on a different planet. Don't kill me.
To the extent that, a different planet where, in gratitude to God for making me this happy, for making me smile, if I decide that for the next 30 days, I'm going to wear my white sutana and sweep the streets of Lagos, go from one street to the other and preach chastity. Excuse me, sir, it's not enough. So anybody who wants to stay away, stay away. I'm with the firmaments, I'm with the angels, I'm in the heavenlies right now. The most important person I need in my life now is God, for God to be pleased with me, and I know He is. So there's nothing to be shy about. I can say that boldly.
General theory that the reason why people get this religious or spiritual is as a result, sometimes maybe you have faced some difficulties in life, some disappointments in life. Could that be true?
Yes. Yes. I already told you. What informed my ministry was going through some of life's vicissitudes, very painful ones. I never thought I would survive. So one day I just sat down in church. Then I was at MFM and I said, God, I thank you for this phase of my life. I think I want to do something to say thank you to you. Apart from writing in the papers and counseling girls online, I go to marketplaces. I've been to places I can't, sometimes I don't even know how I find myself there. I go with my megaphone, I talk to the market women. I say, oh, Esofa Omoyi, ki won toju bale won, and they'll say, a demand so fun won, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ti dà tipẹ́, kí la máa ṣe báyìí, that kind of thing. So you're laughing. I'm telling you my experience.
I studied
Sorry?
Yoruba. I studied Yoruba. Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's what they tell me. Because I speak in English. I speak in Yoruba. And I say, and I have to learn some of these things before I go there. And so that's how they respond. So anyway, so I go around, say what I'm supposed to preach to people, let them know that there's a lot of gain in preserving your sexual purity, and then it gives you a lot of power. Honestly, you find anyway. Your next question, Uncle Dele.
Well, I mean, it's still on the same thing. Now I'm just, okay. You say I ask personal questions. I like to ask personal questions. Do you plan to marry?
Uncle Dele, please, can we just shift to another question?
No. When you say you are
Yes, I mean,
not, those are
Uncle Dele, please, I will get married. Let's leave it at that. I will marry.
you
Next
will.
question.
Okay. No, I just want to know because
I
when you are,
will be.
I want to know the limits and the extent of your chastity. That's what I'm asking.
As far as I'm concerned, look, Uncle Dele, if I answer you, you will keep going from, leave my personal life out of
So,
this. I mean,
you are a public figure. You can't run away from it. And you know I'm not a junk journalist. I'm just asking something. I want you to educate people.
yeah.
And if you don't give personal examples, it's difficult. So you cannot preach what you won't practice. That's why I'm saying. So,
Uncle Dele, I practice.
and the extent.
I have practiced over
Of,
time. I have practiced what I preach.
yes,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, what is the extent? Is there a time limit?
Oh, okay.
Is there a deadline? In
Okay,
journalism,
you
there
see,
are deadlines to everything.
I get you. I get you. It depends on what you want to achieve. Do you understand? And I told you something the other time. If God showed an average girl the type of glory she carries and what her future could bring, if only she can preserve her life and close it up from some satanic interference. A lot of girls out there, they won't even talk to men. If they don't have food to eat, they will sit down. So when I know what is ahead of me, and when God has not told me to follow this person or that person, why would I want to do that? So you see, it depends on what end whoever is keeping her sexual purity is keeping it for. If you're keeping it, you could be keeping it because you're waiting for the right person. You could be keeping it because you want to develop the power of God in you. So if you think that, okay, I mean, there are two sets of people here now. There's some who just decide that they want to become celibate, not because they fear God, but maybe because they've been hurt a good number of times and they just want to keep themselves. And some people, they are celibate because they fear God and because they want the power of God to well up in them so that they can command life to their tastes. So, do you get the analysis?
No, please. No.
You said to what extent?
Okay,
You said to what extent?
So I will leave you now and go to general questions. Don't worry.
Okay.
Now, you just
Then
said,
let's answer that now. I can explain further.
okay, feel
I can
free.
explain further.
Okay, you were the one who
Let
you
me
were.
explain further.
Okay,
Let me explain further.
okay, go on.
Yes. You see, there are some people who are celibate. I repeat. They decide that, okay, they've been having boyfriends and then they've had their hearts broken and they just decide, you know what, I have done enough with this body. I've had enough heartbreak. Without the power of God in them, without being enveloped with the Spirit of God, their flesh would always fail them. Do you understand? But with the Spirit of God in you, if you have been practicing celibacy for years, this flesh, even if they touch you, you won't, even if they try to do anything to you, you may not feel it because a greater power has enveloped you. Do you get my point, Uncle Dele? Are
Yeah,
you sure?
but I do not agree that people practice celibacy out of fear of God. There's nowhere, I've not read it anywhere, where God said you must be celibate. Even
No. Hold on, sir.
says render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar, which means you must live in this world. If you are still in this world, there are things you must still do in the world. That is my own interpretation. Maybe
Well, I follow the Bible. I follow the Bible, which says the married man should be on the cloud.
let me tell you, I've read the Bible, I've read the Quran over and over again, and I can confirm to you that in this world, in fact, my prayer every day is that God, please let me do what all good men and women do on earth. And that includes pleasure. I pray in the morning to God, please give me pleasure, give me good health, give me wealth so I can enjoy life, so that I can have a beautiful home like Saulu OKEOWO. People, it's part of life. There is nothing wrong with it. There's nothing, as long as you do it within reasonable limits. But to say because your flesh belongs to God, no, God gave us everything so we can use it well to his glory.
Yes, sir. Can I respond to that?
Please.
Can I respond to that? And if you're not careful, and in your bid to satisfy that flesh, you may miss out a lot in life.
No.
Because you see,
I'm not saying extramarital. I'm saying.
Okay, fine.
Yes, I am saying that why do you want to be celibate? You are a beautiful woman, fashionable woman, intelligent woman, educated woman. So why are you not doing the rest of the things that God sent you to do on earth? That's my question.
Are you asking me that?
For people who have your kind of attitude to life, that I'm preserving my body for God. God does not need our body. God gave us the body and sent us to the world with it.
Don't worry. I'll get into, you see, there's time for everything. My life is in God's hands and it's God's project. You already asked me if I'm going to get married, and I will. And soon, I mean, very soon too, I'm sure. So let's leave it to them. Next question, sir.
I'm a member of your I'm a member.
I know, you've been the first to know.
Your dad and your mom very well. So that is why.
Yes.
So this interview for me is a very, very special interview. I wanted to know the limits so that I can then know where to direct the attention of our prayers. Because I'm going to...
Oh my God. What are you, I mean, I don't understand this. Did I tell you I'm in a hurry?
Soon, I've been reading you quietly and I've been wondering, hey, what's going on here? Chastity business. So, and I'm happy that your big daddy is watching right now. And so we need to know where to direct our prayers. So that is why.
Oh my God.
I'm not joking.
You're kidding.
The next question I was going to ask you is, how do you deal with family based on your present decision to be deliberately...
What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me.
No,
Uncle Dele, there's time for everything.
Wrong with you, but it's just not a normal thing. I didn't say anything wrong. Yeah. So, and I'm sure that you would have been under pressure from family. So how are you dealing with family pressure?
My mom is always on my neck, and I'm like, she should keep praying for me.
Good.
I mean, she still mentioned it today. Your brother, like you said, your brother still mentioned it today. And I told him, I said, even me, I'm tired of your son name.
Well,
so,
because I've not met many intelligent, almost perfect human being like you. And I'm not trying to flatter you. You are a very, very focused lady. Right from the time you were a teenager, you were focused. Yes, it's possible you face some difficulties in life, but difficulties should not knock you out of life. They should make you stronger. And that is why I am saying you can preach chastity before marriage, but don't preach chastity forever.
No, I won't. Chill.
Okay.
Chill. Calm down. Oh my God. This is serious.
It's very, please let me have a seat.
You should pray for me. You're my brother.
Yes, and me and
give me your prayers.
I'm sure on this one we agree. If nothing else, we agree on this one that this interview, something must come out of this interview, and that
Amen.
It's good for us to have. A lot of fine young men are watching you right now, and they are wondering, what's wrong with this girl now? Why do you want to waste beauty? You know, that kind of thing. So
let them ask Saulu OKEOWO.
we have a big backyard where we are going to do that party when it happens.
Let them submit the applications to him. They should submit the applications to him.
I'm sure that my wife will be very happy. She is very good at matchmaking. She'll be very happy to find
I
very
see.
who will not disappoint you, allow you to practice whatever you are practicing, you know?
I
No, but
see.
that's very interesting. So now let's talk about your family. Let me leave you alone. The message is clear.
You're making me sweat. I should have asked you for the questions you're giving me.
If I am ready to hand that over ASAP.
Did you say so?
Yes, your brother is saying he's ready to hand you over ASAP. You see?
Is that true? Yeah.
We took Ashwebi long ago. The Ashwebi now, we don't know where it to.
Oh my God. Okay, then explain me all this. You're setting me up now.
We're just being practical.
Are you sure you and my brother didn't organize this? Please spare me, free me.
I have not spoken to your brother in months. Ask him. We have not spoken in months. I did not even know he was going to watch. It was when I got online that I saw that he was watching. Seriously, I won't lie to you.
Uncle Dele, before December, I will give you dates.
Before December, that's a deal. No
I will
problem.
give you dates.
Yes,
by God's grace.
That at least we're getting something out of this interview. I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm sure Mommy will be very delighted to know that Uncle Dele is working very hard on you tonight. I said,
I hope so. She asked after you a few days ago.
that you see, I didn't even talk to you. Did I talk to you? All this.
No.
I didn't talk to you. So I decided that we're going to do a normal interview. And this is how I do my interview. When I interviewed Bobrisky, people said I had some crazy questions. That is my style of interviewing people, because it must be fun too. We can't just come here and be blowing grammar and all that if we can't get something concrete. And I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of young women are learning something from you. Okay. Okay, let's talk about your fashion. Now, it's the exact opposite. You know, people who are very religious usually are not overtly fashionable. So how do you combine the two?
Can you see the color of my hair? Number one, this is not my hair.
I'm surprised.
And I attached something to
it. Nicki Minaj or somebody.
Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, no. Joel 2:28. Yes. In Joel 2:28, we're told that God said, and in the last days, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. And the sons and daughters will prophesy. The old men shall dream dreams and see great visions. He didn't say people without makeup, people that will put scarf, people that, you know, he said on all flesh, on all flesh. From time to time, I hear God speaking to me loud and clear, which is one of the reasons why I encourage girls to stay chaste, so that they don't get exploited by pastors and shepherds in, you know, randy pastors and shepherds, so to speak. God talks to me loud and clear. He's the one that downloads all the things I'm writing. He tells me what to do, what not to do, you know, where to go, where not to go. Uncle Dele, between you and I, God has never for one day, not only does he talk to me alone, he sends angels to me in my dream. Don't even let us go near maybe seers or prophets or prophetesses that come. No. Personally, every day before I wake up, I have an idea what's going to happen. God gives me instructions. Go there this week, do that. God has not for one day complained that, Temilolu, this your lipstick is too much now. Because I love red lipstick. I don't wear minis. I don't expose my body. You know, I'm always all covered up. Yes, I do glam makeup when I have to do photo shoots. But you see, my mind is too saturated in the spirit of God. If we're together and I'm sitting down and I'm with you, I could dissect you. You'll be shocked. I could just say, look, did you have this dream? Did this happen to you? It's like that. So you see, when I see people, they're like, I tell girls, if your hair is on perm, if it's natural, you're not wearing makeup, you don't even have AOs, I respect you. But if God is not talking to you per second, then you're a disgrace. Yeah. it doesn't have anything to do with all this, you know. Different geos have different things to say. But as far as I am concerned, God sent me on a mission which has to do with sexual purity. I think I'm, you know, I know I'm going through, I mean, he's recording my conscious assessment, and not for one day has he complained about my fashion sense. And I've not done anything that will make me look, that would attract, that would make me look seductive. And of course, when we go to church, we don't wear makeup. Even when I was at MFM, we dare not wear makeup. We don't put all these things. You know, some people think that, you know, attachments, earrings, all these things bring demon, they demonize you. Where is the demon? Where, how does the demon want to come near me? I mean, I don't want to go into that. So as far as I'm concerned, God is pleased with me, with my fashion sense. And he tells me what to wear at certain times. And, you know, so that's it.
Okay. David, it's been very, very interesting. We've passed 1 hour already. So I wouldn't,
Really?
yeah, I wouldn't want us to do this interview and not talk about your books. So can you tell us about your books, the content and all that?
You know, the very first one, Uncle Dele, you were the one who blew it out. I wrote that book because I wanted to make my dad proud of me, if you remember. And you told me that that you needed to expose me to the world. I mean, I would never forget that. You know, first of all, I got my dad to print it a number of times because I wanted some perfection. You remember the launches we had in Abuja? You were there with me. The one we had in Lagos as well, you know? And it sold out at that point in time. I was still I was still a law student, and I didn't really pursue that. After that, I published a free
And we must thank Mrs. Titi Atiku again for
fantastic. You know, some things just happened. I never met her until that day, as well as the then Minister for Power and Works or something, late Chief Tony Aneni. It was a brilliant outing. And
yes,
I must also thank you for the exposure you gave me that time, because it also boosted, you know, the caliber of people that came. So on the other hand, I published another book, Life Nuggets for Girls. That was a free daily devotional. At the point in time, I stopped. And then I have 2 new extras that will be unveiled anytime soon, by God's grace. And then, of course, I have, when you Google TEMILOLU or OKEOWO, go to my timeline, you find girls, girls, girls. I mean, I try to attract attention, like, ọmọdé, má pa mí tó bá yá ọmọdé, má pa rẹ̀. So my timeline is a book, and there's so I've not started. Oh my God, chill. I've not started. Just watch me.
I'm very happy that you are still the same old, vibrant, you know, focused lady. So we shall celebrate you. We shall continue, you know, to pray for you.
Thank you.
Family, your family is very dear to us. So if you have any passing shots for your fans and your, you know, viewers.
Girls, look at me very well. Am I not a fine girl? Am I not a pretty lady? Go through my timeline. Am I not okay? Yes. Some people, like Uncle Dave, some of my brothers could be harassing me to get married. I will get married. I would have twins in my first year of marriage. But the point is this. The point is this. Honestly, if you see, the world today is very hostile. And it's getting more uncertain. And we're told in 2 Timothy 3:13 or so, or 3:1, that in the last days, evil men and seducers would wax stronger. In the world today, in the African society today especially, the female folk are victims. We're in a very unfriendly, we're in a female unfriendly society. Every day, somebody's talking about patriarchy, the pains, the negative side. I mean, what it's doing to the female folk. Any woman who suddenly crashes, you find, when you look at the root of that woman's problem, you find out that it's one man or the other. What is the problem? With all the power that you carry, let me tell you something. your teenage years, I have been through that age. A lot of things people are passing through, I've been through it. Heartbreaks, etc. In your teens, you have no business getting romantically involved with anybody. Forget it. Just cancel it. If you know you want to lay a solid foundation for your life, you never can tell the type of style you carry and the battles you have to fight. So the earlier you arm yourself, the better, the better. So that in future, just like a lot of your mothers, they are on Facebook all the time and, screaming patriarchy, this patriarchy. What is my business with patriarchy? When we are created as fortresses, God's powerhouses, God's warehouses, I beg you in the name of God. Uncle Dele is still confused about all this. But I'm telling you, if you want, I'm advising you, you get soaked in the supernatural. Tame this flesh and come and see if all the money in the world will not come to you. Come and see if the world's most honorable men will not line up at your door someday. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. A lot of those who gave your parents sleepless nights because of their ostentatious lifestyle in those days, a lot of them are alive but dead. We don't hear about them anymore. So don't be too much in a hurry. Let the fire of God and the power of God well up in you and turn you into a city that the whole world would salute till Jesus comes. In Jesus' name, I remain yours, TEMILOLU, OKEOWO. Please follow me on my timeline for some daily nuggets. Your life will never be the same again. And I thank you all so much for those beautiful comments I get on a daily basis. And as per today's own, I'll try and respond to everybody. Thank you so much, Uncle Dele, for this interview. It came as a surprise.
TEMILOLU, OKEOWO. It's been nice talking to you. I can tell you this in one of my most explosive interviews, because...
Really?
Oh, yes, you were brimming with fire, and we love you. And,
Thank you.
To support in our own little way like this. So
Thank you very much. You should, you should. At least you should try one word every day. Is it because you don't have girls? You should. You should.
No,
you should. You should try one word. You should try one word at least daily.
No problem.
Is it because you don't have girls?
No, not at all. We wanted girls, but we didn't have girls, so it's not our fault. We wanted girls. So we thank you so much for coming on this show. It's been very nice, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your birthday. You still have a couple of hours.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
You too.
And everyone at home, Mama, and everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure all my viewers, you enjoyed yourselves thoroughly. I'm speaking to OKEOWO. Yes, I call her the chastity expert. And before we go, we'll play another music. Because today is your birthday. So
thank you. And World Chastity Day. See, we even prepared shirts. World Chastity Day.
I know you like classics, so we'll play.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the instrumental.
I'm singing.
Okay.
I'm singing. Who will face the foe? Who is on the Lord's side? Who for him will go? By the command of mercy, by thy grace divine, I am on the Lord's side, Savior. I am thine. Whether Uncle Dele likes it or not.
We have our own national anthem that we play every night.
We have girls club anthem too. We have chastity anthem.
Okay, did you send it to us?
Don't worry. Next year it's going to be mind blowing. We'll sing it at the UN next year at the United Nations headquarters in New York.
No problem. We shall carry it for you. No problem at all.
Thank you, sir.
Our national anthem, Duduke. We close our shows with Duduke.
Oh, I see.
It's a song of love, so there's nothing wrong with it.
I know the song. I listen to it. It's a lovely one.
First let me tell you, I can't wait to see you. You are the time. Do you know how much I really need you? I pray for the day when I can finally kiss you. You know, say every day I pray for you.
You can stand up and dance, so feel free. It's your birthday, you can dance.
The world is watching. Don't let them. No, don't let me stand up. I'm okay like this. This is what that you're advertising. I'm okay like this.
I sing for you, I be like, baby, my love will be more. What do you know? See, I need no keep the word to you, but I give you what I have. Oh, baby, you are my Achilles.
You don't know the lyrics.
Show you what say every day I pray for you. That's why my heart is beat like you do. Cause my own I do so I am very I sing for you I be like you do. Baby, my own I go big boy I am very only for you to be like I sing for you my baby oh
So thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Everybody, good night.
You, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, I just realized that today, another aburo of mine, Mrs. Sylvia Emechete, former Miss Nigeria, just turned 41. So I am going to try and see if I can reach her and wish her happy birthday. Sylvia Eden she was, but she's now Mrs. Sylvia Emechete. Mm. Unfortunately, we're not able to get Sylvia. It's a different pattern, different number, different type of style, different color, different shape, different type of size. My bad friend got nothing on you, so why you don't go there? So, Lord, I mean, yes, I